unexpected benefit of playing PlayStation VR games with Move controllers was that suddenly millions of gamers were getting up off their couches and swinging swords, dodging bullets, and taking cover behind imaginary walls in their living room. This new crop of games made our formerly stagnant hobby something that got our blood flowing, literally. And after a long night of Spark, Sprint Vector, or even Beat Saber, I'd often wake up the next day feeling like I'd been to the gym. So it's not terribly surprising that the developers of one of PlayStation VR's newest games, BoxVR, are looking to take that sensation to the next level by essentially removing the game and focusing simply on daily cardio workout routines, all without ever having to leave the house.
My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down.
At first glance, you'd be forgiven for thinking that BoxVR was just another Beat Saber clone. In fact, the concept is virtually identical. You stand in one place with music thumping while a series of targets come at you, each one color coordinated to one of your gloves, indicating which hand you should be punching with. There are 3 types of blocks that can only be taken out with the correct motion: jabs, hooks, and uppercuts, along with walls to avoid and cues to block, all of which need to be accomplished successfully to maintain your combo and achieve the highest possible score. Classes can be as short as 3 minutes, but for the truly dedicated, there are a ton that'll keep you sweating for upwards of an hour. And of course, the game keeps track of which classes you've completed, the amount of calories you've burned, and sets a rigorous daily quota for you to meet based on your age, size, and weight. All of this is done against 3 different backdrops, 2 that take a more realistic approach, and 1 that looks like something out of Tron, with over 100 songs to choose from in quite a few genres, none of which I've heard before, but all are perfectly suited for the task at hand. The one thing about BoxVR that'll keep it from having universal appeal, though, is that punching targets just isn't nearly as much fun as swinging lightsabers, which means that anyone looking for their next big rhythm game addiction probably won't find it here. Instead, BoxVR's core audience will most likely be those looking for something that'll make them sweat, and use it, as intended, as a fitness program. Dropping in and playing this every day for 30 minutes or so is a pretty decent way to start your mornings, and in that sense, it is a lot of fun, and finishing a class is extremely satisfying. And if you have friends that are interested in taking a class with you, there is a somewhat shallow multiplayer mode that allows you to play simultaneously. In action, it looks identical to single player, but shows your friend's scores in real time. The PlayStation Store says this mode is for 2 to 6 players, and I honestly haven't found that many people playing online at one time. But I could see this being fairly competitive if you could get a group together and do one of the longer classes. An awesome addition from a technical standpoint is the ability to adjust your gloves and lock them to the Move controllers at any angle or offset. It's a simple addition that should be standard in every PlayStation VR game moving forward, especially in games like this that are so focused on timing and precision. The one caveat I'll add is that I found it a bit strange that the difficulty never seems to escalate quite as high as you'd hope in the harder classes, meaning that after a few weeks or maybe a few months, BoxVR potentially might not scale with you and offer the challenge you're looking for. I have to admit that initially I found BoxVR to be a little expensive, but $30 in the real world will generally only get you about a 1-month membership at a 24-hour gym. So in that context, it's actually a fairly good deal, and the more I played, the more satisfying completing each course became. There's a ridiculous amount of music here and probably more classes than you'll ever use. So if you're the kind of person who'd rather stay home than go to a gym, BoxVR offers an excellent alternative.